Okay, stop buying toilet paper. Good morning and welcome back to Walking on the Cloud with Marco. So it's a nice cold day, as you can see again. Yeah, we're below freezing again, and I'm gonna take a walk today and talk about the new normal. So as I discussed in my previous video, things have changed, right? We're now socially isolating ourselves. We're now being more careful when we go outside, and some think this is a temporary measure, but I don't think so. If we really want to flatten the curve, as they say, right, and flattening the curve means we want to make sure that infections are spread out over time. More people can go to the hospital and actually receive care from their health providers, right? One thing that happens is doctors are not immune to disease, right? So you will have doctors that will get infected, and what happens with a doctor that's infected? Well, self-isolation, boom, they're out of business for 3 weeks, right? Second thing that is happening, for example, is running out of healthcare supplies, right? Hospital running out of toilet paper because everybody bought the damn toilet paper. Okay, stop buying toilet paper. Having an efficient system for the ability to deliver healthcare to areas where they're needed at that point in time, right? Because you're going to have hotspots in certain cities, and now rural areas are going to be more free of these issues, right? And then how you move around that healthcare workforce, that's a challenge right now. So those are the things sort of that we now need to be careful about, right? Those are the things that we need to understand, that this is what we're trying to do. Trying to stay away from anybody who is susceptible, who is more at risk of having worse consequences in this disease, right? That's what this self-isolation is all about. You hear flattening the curve, but nobody's really explaining why it's important and what flattening the curve even means, right? Flattening the curve even means you're gonna have 10% of the population that's gonna get infected by this virus, and it's gonna need access to the hospitals. 10% of people who are gonna get this virus are going to need to go to the hospital. Now, if 10% of people go to the hospital right now, you know there's gonna be a lot worse consequences than if that 10% is slowly rolling into hospitals over time. This is a good thing, actually. This is forcing us, this new normal is forcing us not to travel as much, not to do leisure things. If we look at this new normal right now, and I'm just gonna start calling it new normal because that's what we need to accept it is. It's a mind shift, right? It's a complete switch of, it's a new concept, and that's the thing, right? Not everybody is gonna be accepting this new thing, right? That's why people were panicking. The panic was more about the uncertainty of what's going to happen, right? And now that we've gone through a week of this, everybody has probably had enough time to think about what is actually going to happen. And if you haven't had time to think about it now, right? Start thinking about what it means if you have to stay in this self-isolation sort of mode for the next 6 months, not for the next 2 weeks, for the next 6 months. How are you going to spend your summer? How are your kids going to go to school next September? Here in Ontario, we now already know schools are going to be closed until September, right? And I don't think it's the only place in the world that has this, overnight. Canada and the US have closed their borders to non-essential travelers, so business and trade and all kinds of goods are still passing across the border, but the non-essential travels, it's just not available anymore, right? It's just, there's just no more possibility to get across. I mean, that's gonna change, right? You're not gonna be stuck stuck home, stuck inside your country, right? But even if you are, plan your summers, people. Plan what you're gonna do this summer for this contingency. Have this contingency in mind, right? How are you gonna put your kids into school? Do you have the required services to put your kids into school? Do you have a computer at home? If you have one, you know, your kids need to start using it now. What else do we need to figure out? Well, those of us that have small kids, right? My kids are really young. They're preschool right now, both of them. And what am I gonna do, right? How are we gonna figure out daycare? What happens now, right? That's a good question, and that's something that we need to think about, and that's something that we need to find a contingency plan for. For me personally, it's finding a way to continue what we had before, right? And daycare is going to be closed until September, so what are we going to do? But this is the new normal. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this video at this point. And hopefully next time I can talk about something more fun. But at this point, it is what it is. I do hope that this helps you sort of get through this mind shift of, oh, this is not just a temporary thing. I do hope that this helps you get your life back on track, right? Gets you thinking about what needs to be done and how to move along with this in this situation. Anyway, thank you very much. And I will see you on the next episode of Walking on the Cloud with Marco. Bye.